Every month down in Madison, it's called Wis-Kino. Any of you guys heard of it? I give you guys 3 minutes to come up with an idea for a movie that would have that theme.
Okay. We got this guy, he's at his apartment, he's putting on his clothes.
There's this like small sort of Russian ethnic town.
Couldn't just be Russia, it could be like, you know how Dubai.
A man goes up to a convenience store counter and buys either some tobacco or cigarettes.
It's a story about high schoolers and how over time they can change.
I'd like to start out with Obama speaking about change. And then I'd like to use a morph program to slowly morph him into Hillary.
The guy's fed up with life and is going to commit suicide by jumping off the tallest building in town.
It's a guy that makes fancy reservations at a really, really fancy restaurant for his girlfriend and him.
And it's about this no.
And he walks outside and he's walking down the street and it's raining and a car drives past and splashes him with a whole bunch of water.
Completely soaked.
And over time, there's this tourist attraction that just springs up, and it's really popular, and people keep coming.
His friends are really changed. Like they're different because they were all hanging out during the summer and they were all doing things, and so they all kind of went on.
Through each decade, he pays more and more and more, and he gets more change back.
And then morph Hillary into McCain and have him criticize change.
Every time he goes up every so many floors, somebody gets on and he starts talking to this person and he starts learning more about life.
Crap. I don't have a phone. My girlfriend's not here. I forgot to tell her we were doing this tonight because it had to change.
So she starts out as a nun, but she is happening to be sleeping with the priest and she gets kicked out of the nunnery.
He hasn't hung out with his friends that much. He's been going to camps, all this stuff. He's been having a good time. So he comes back.
He turns around and goes back to his apartment and changes his clothes. He's walking to
His
his
girlfriend's
girlfriend's
house.
who has a kid. Okay, so he gets there and she has to get ready. So then she's like, "Oh, could you change him? I think he pooped his pants or something."
And the town slowly evolves into this huge city, and these old people who were kids back when it was a small hut don't really like this.
With each person that gets on, like an Iraqi soldier, a contortionist, a lawyer,
So that it would be kind of a note on like inflation.
He's trying to get back and he's trying to hang with them, but they're like too far gone.
And then I'd like to morph into Bush and see if I can get a statement about him talking into change.
And then he has to go around this really fancy place with all these people just trying to eat. And he has to be like, "Do you have some change?" Like 50 cents because there's only a payphone there.
She doesn't know what to do because she's been her whole life in a convent. She's a nun, so she wears her nun costume.
He's trying to be with them at lunch, and there's all these different scenes about him trying to fit in.
So then he's with his girlfriend and they go out to eat.
And
So-
then he's all like, "I gotta go to the bathroom." And then he stands up and one of the waiters
Turns
spills
around,
food all over him.
Whole platter like spaghetti and pasta just all over him. He's like, "Okay, before the movie,
I gotta go
change."
We keep paying more and more, but maybe we get the same amount of change back through the decades.
And while he's talking, I'd like to morph him into Washington and then morph him into a dollar bill, have him talk about the economy.
And they try to find all these old things, but the place keeps getting more and more advanced, like these indoor snowboarding machines and stuff.
They all changed, and then the last scene is him, his last attempt.
And by the time he gets to the top floor and he's looking down the building, he decides to jump off. He decides to step
Aboard?
back onto the building.
Awesome.
Get back down the street.
And he's just walking around through these different tables and they're just all like, "Just get the hell away from me."
And so she's on the streets of New York.
No.
Okay, I thought it was New York. I don't know.
No, it is
Sure.
New York.
It is
Broadway.
New York. It's Broadway.
Morph the dollar bill into a penny and end with Lincoln.
That'd be something interesting. Someone coming back who left the town for their own exploits and comes back and this isn't the same.
They just like push him away and just a bunch of insanity ensues.
I think we should all go over to my house or whatever, and they're like, not really, and they all walk off, and he just sits in his house.
The exact math I would have to sit down and figure out. And he has to go home and change again. He's got just one pair of clothes left. So he's like, "I gotta take all this stuff to the laundromat."
You're right.
So then he gets to the laundromat and he's gonna put the clothes in. He's like, "I have no change for the machine."
And she does Broadway, and she finds her inner Broadway person. She's like a butterfly.
A guy goes up to a change machine. All right, there's a change machine right there. And he pulls a dollar bill out and puts it in, and it takes his dollar, and all of a sudden, poof, he turns into a woman. End of movie.